Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to the Kick-Ash Podcast live here via One True Sport on YouTube and on Twitter, all that good stuff. So thank you so much for joining me here today. Obviously, we will be talking about AEW Grand Slam. Now, this is going to be completely spoiler-free, guys. If you have already seen the spoilers on Twitter, wherever you've seen it, please do not put them in the chat. Obviously, it has been... I don't know if they are completed, to be honest with you. I don't know exactly the time difference and what time they started over there or whatever, but we do know that it has obviously taken place, or at least started at this point. But I don't want any spoilers here if you guys do not mind, even if you have seen it on wherever, Twitter, Instagram, whatever, just because it kind of takes the fun out of it, in my opinion. If you want to check out the spoilers, it's totally cool. But let's just not put it in the chat here if you guys don't mind. So I just wanted to kind of start with that. I was trying to go on Twitter a little bit just to see. I was trying to pull up to see if there was any additions to or any last minute changes that AEW posted on their Twitter page for the Grand Slam card, but they have not. But I do see that they included Ring of Honor, so I did want to pull that up here as well. That's actually what I was trying to look for right before I hit that go live button. But good morning, guys. Good morning. Good morning. I am pulling up the Ring of Honor card here because I think they called it something Wars or some shit, like Grand Wars or something. Let's see. Oh, definitely do not want those spoilers. It's so funny. You type in some things and so for this one, the first thing that popped up, people always ask or also ask, is Jeff Hardy a Grand Slam champion? That's so freaking random. Yeah, and Global Wars is what it's called. Everything is spoilers, so I'm gonna be very careful. I just want to I'm trying not to spoil it for myself either. We do have, of course, obviously your Ring of Honor, and it's so I forget sometimes that Chris Jericho is the Ring of Honor champion. Jesus, what are we doing here? But it is called Global Wars. I'm trying to see if there's anything else, but I don't know, guys. So I suck. I don't know much about the Global Wars, but it's probably going to be on the Honor Club. If you guys are subscribed to that, have at it. Oh, cool. I found some. So the matches are the Learning Tree, Chris Jericho, Big Bill, and Brian Keith facing off against Bandito and the Outrunners, which is Turbo Floyd and Truth Magnum. Athena facing off against Alex Windsor for the AEW Women's Champion. That's a typo. It should be the ROH Women's Championship. Maybe I wish it was challenging for the AEW Women's Championship. We have Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara facing off against MXM Collection, Mason Madden, and Mansoor for the ROH Tag Team titles. And they're also the Trios Ring of Honor champion. I don't know who their trio is. So it's just wild. But the final match that they have on the card as well is Lee Moriarty facing off against Robbie Eagles for the ROH Pure Women's Championship. Jesus, it's a great start to the morning, right? But for the ROH Pure Championship, yeah, it seems like a good little lineup there. And to be fair, props to them for adding more matches to the card, or not obviously to the Grand Slam card, but creating more matches for the Australian fans there and trying to do it. You can't really call Ring of Honor a make good, I guess, but at least trying to get more exposure out there, get more talent, get more substance out there for the Australian fans, right? And again, it's actually kind of cool. The dude, I think his name is Mr. Monkey, the guy who posted that Reddit post. What was the title of it? It was not. It wasn't Grand Scam. I have seen Grand Scam out there though, that was just pretty clever, sadly, but pretty clever. But the dude, he was the one who had posted that long. Oh yeah, that long thread titled "Feeling Scanned by AEW Grand Slam Australia." The pay-per-view is now collision taping. That one that got 1 million views or some shit. I had talked about that on my show on Kick-Ash Podcast, and I had linked his article or whatever. And he actually messaged me on YouTube, which was pretty cool. He commented on it, which I thought was really cool and really fucking random. I was like, no way, dude. I was like, you're a little celebrity now. But he was, oh no, my cup is leaking. Oh dear. He was, of course, going to the show, and he had some fans, but his big thing was this first live event that he was going to, and he was just obviously bummed with all the changes and all that shit that we're not going to really focus on because it's been hashed to death. I've hashed it out to death. Today, we're just going to focus on the positives, and what should be a very good show. And like I told him in one of my responses to him, I was like, dude, I'm so sorry you went through this shit, man. Like, I feel for you, bro. And one of his friends was like making like all these arrangements, like all these travel arrangements to go. So it was like this whole deal, right? So I feel for them, but I hope they ended up having a good show. I told him to hit me back once the show was over. Let me know his thoughts and everything. So hope I get that. But it should be pretty cool, just because this guy's article, well, Reddit thread, whatever, got a lot of traction, man, and but rightfully so, and good for him. It was, in my opinion, it wasn't even crash or anything too negative. I'll throw it up here on the screen for you guys in case you hadn't seen it. And I mean, like I said, at this point, it's kind of like a non-point, but I do, just so you know, or so you guys know what I'm referencing. I kind of upload the other display label overlay, but it was this article right here, the feeling scan by AEW Grand Slam Australia. But he obviously did end up going. I need to get a napkin, guys, actually, because my mug just leaked everywhere. God, it's one of those days. But he is in fact going. Well, he's already gone at this point. I'm not gonna read through the whole thing, because like I said, at this point it's kind of after the fact. But I'd say this because I did see that they announced another show for 2026 in Australia. Again, I went on Twitter barely just to pull up to see if there was any last minute card additions, and when I realized that there was just too much potential spoilers, I was like, no, let me back out. I also did see, though, I'll see if I could pull that up. I'm not going to, because it's this account. I'm not gonna. It's like, at first I thought it was like a parody account, but it's like the Death of AEW account or some shit. And of course, if you couldn't guess, they post a lot of negative stuff about AEW. But to be fair too, some of the posts that they post are just calling AEW out and holding them accountable, right? Some of the shit, I'm like, come on, dude, really? But some of the shit, like, they are holding them accountable. So it's what, 6 to 1 and half a dozen and the other type thing. But they had posted a tweet like early this morning saying something like there was like they had received like a tip or like rumors or whatever that Kyle Fletcher's buddies and some close friends of Kyle Fletcher needed, like in the Indies, obviously up over there, they needed to loan AEW a ring because AEW or Tony Khan did not account for the freight, like weight difference and delivery and things like that. And that they had to get a different ring. And the ring that they got was much smaller, it was like 16 by 16, and the apron was too big, and the ring posts were actually bent. I was like, bro, it's too early for all this shit. But if that's the case, shame, right? This is not your first international show, like, shame. I'm going to hold off more judgment on that, but I just thought that was not funny, but just like, wow, really? If it's true. And if it's not true, then shame on them for posting that shit. But if it is, then like, come on, y'all. But I say that because if that is the case, and they are planning to go back there in 2026, regardless of where it is or what kind of show it is or any of that shit, better planning is my recommendation. Just a little bit better planning all around. You know what I mean? Again, I'm not gonna sit here and act like I know what goes into holding a show or anything like that, because I can't even imagine. But here, what, 5 years into this now? Like, come on, bro. Come on. Like, we need to do better. We need to do better. So I'm staying hopeful for next year. I'm surprised that they are wanting to go back to Australia, because I even said, my dog Callish right here. But I said on my show, I was like, yo, like, I'm sure they just can't wait to be done with this Australia shit and just be done and over with, move on to Revolution and not think about it again. But apparently they are glutton for punishment, right? They want to go back to Australia, and I don't know, maybe if they hype it better, if they get a better card that you have an idea of in advance. I don't know, man. I don't know. But like, again, like, it's okay not to, like, I think they feel like they have to, just because WWE does certain things, like they have to go into that same market or a similar market or a nearby market, and if not do just as much, like damn near close. Or obviously you want to exceed, but like if you can't like do as much or just almost as much, right? But you don't have to, man. Like it's okay. Like you AEW, like for instance, like there was always reports that AEW was stronger in the UK than WWE was. And if that's true, if that was true, and if that is still true, like that's a W for you right there, man. But like I don't feel the need to like why do you want to go back? Like you this was already a nightmare, right? And again, this is probably gonna set some record, right? Like their second largest international gate or whatever, which props to them and good for them as it should. But there's just been so much BS surrounding this one and just a bad connotation and a bad vibe. Like I'm just surprised you'd even want to announce it anything so soon. I mean, of course they haven't announced like a location or tickets or anything, but I did see they had a wait list, and I would not be on that fucking wait list. That'd be the last thing I was on. I'd be waiting for the actual list to come out. Like fuck that. Like the actual lineup. Mm-mm. Especially no. If you guys join the wait list and you jump on the pre-sale tickets, you guys are what's the word? I don't want to say better. I'll just say you're better than me because it couldn't be me. Especially some of these people have spent thousands of dollars, so couldn't be me, guys. But good morning, chat. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I am going to go through the chat here. What up? What up? Good morning, Mr. Ball in his life. Good morning. Good morning. You're very sweet. I appreciate you. Good morning, E. What up? What up? you always crack me up, man. You say step into the ring of laughs. It's the podcast where wrestling meets wit. Brace yourselves for body slams of hilarity. The host of all hosts, Ash, and the crowd goes wild. Woo woo woo. You're great, man. You're great. You should be. I don't know. You should be like a script writer or something, man. Like a hype guy. You're great. You're great. And yeah, dude. Yeah, if we have some time here, we'll chat about the NXT Vengeance Day. I thought about throwing that in the title as well, but you guys know me and how I get, and especially when I chat with you guys, I get very sucked into one topic, which I'm trying not to. I'm trying to be more vast, right, and stay on track here. But I do have the card pulled up because I did see your chat right before I went live, so I did get that pulled up here. So we will touch on that if we have a little bit of time. I do have to jump out at 11, or a couple minutes after 11, just because I have to get some tires fixed. So I will stop bullshitting and get to it. What up, Eddie? What up? What up, man? What up? What up? And Sean, yes, if you heard my show, you already know my thoughts. So yeah, man. But I don't think I'll have any last minute changes. God, this cup, bro. I don't know. Like it's not actively leaking, but there's like a nice little puddle. God, like I'm a fucking mess, y'all. What up? What up? XXX enhance the Kraken. What up? What up, bro? RVD 420. RVD's the shit, man. Love that guy. Yeah, the boss, Jeff Hardy is a Grand Slam champion in WWE for sure. It's just funny because, like, I was just typing in Grand Slam and like that's the first, like, out of all the Grand Slam champions, like Jeff Hardy was the first one that popped up. Just funny. Yeah, Sean. Why do they have to be with Ring of Honor? I mean, I get that, man, but at least, first of all, at least they're not flooding the actual Grand Slam card. I'm about to grab a tissue here. They're not flooding the actual Grand Slam card with Ring of Honor, and that's what I was trying to see. Like, I don't know if it was. I don't know anything about the taping. So again, if you guys come here for the latest in the breaking news and like all the scoops, I hate to break it to you, but you came to the wrong place. At least for the kick-ass little podcast here, like Zach and Tyler and all that, and obviously everyone else on One True Sport, they do much better than I do. I'm just here. I'm just a fan, man. Like I ain't here to break nothing or to like give you the scoops. You know what I mean? Like I'm just here as a fan. A lot of times you guys know more than me, so there's that. But yeah, Sean, like I don't know, man. That's why, and like that's what I was saying. Like I was trying to see exactly what they were doing with Ring of Honor, but I didn't want to get into the spoilers, so I was just like, fuck it, we'll see. We'll see what they end up doing. But I am going to grab a tissue here, guys, because it's driving me nuts. I will be right back. The tissues are like right behind me. I'm back, guys. I chuckled because like I mean I probably should be more professional, right? But I am just like the least like unprofessional like I hate labels, but like I guess you would call it what are these people called like content creators or whatever? Like I am the worst one. I am the worst one. So I appreciate you guys for being here with me and chucking along with me, man. Yeah, Sean, get rid of those trio titles. Especially like why do you need Ring of Honor and AEW trios titles? Like, come on, bro. And I get like I don't want to be a hypocrite. Like I'm literally was just sitting here bitching like at least Ring of Honor isn't on the card, but like why do we need trios titles? Period, in my opinion, at this point. Yeah, the boss. You say who is going to dethrone Athena? Man, I will tell you, I don't think it's going to happen tonight or last night or today or this weekend. I think it's, and it's so funny what they're doing with Athena, man, because she's like I don't want to say like like that best kept secret type thing, but it's like, bro, like what are we doing? Like you have so many other talents, Chris Jericho, for instance, that just live on Dynamite, right? But we have yet to see Athena still. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Athena. I'm happy she still gets included in these Ring of Honor matches because I just half the time I'm like, yo, does he remember that she's there and like that he has a quote unquote women's division for Ring of Honor? Like, I mean, no, it's not stacked, but like, dude, like you have something there. Like, and Athena is amazing. So what are we doing, bro? What are we doing? Yeah, Sean, not you say not a fan of Reddit. To be fair, to be completely fair and transparent, I have I, I've probably clicked on a Reddit link maybe definitely less than 10 times in my life, maybe around 5 times in my life. I don't know, man. I just I was just never I just never really I was just like, okay, like I didn't really know what it was for the longest time, and then I heard there was like a whole bunch of negativity, so I was just like, f that. But then I've heard like it's gotten a lot cleaner recently, so I don't know. I don't know how to work the thing. I don't know how to do any of it, so that's why I just never. I suck with technology. If you guys haven't noticed, and just like social media, websites and shit. Like I do the bare. I'm not gonna say I do the bare minimum, but I stick with what I know. I go with what I know, and I just never really fucked with Reddit. But yeah, like for whatever reason, I came across that dude's thread. I don't know, I was looking up something, but yeah, I thought it was really interesting though. It's kind of like it was kind of like a little journal, in my opinion, that he had. But I don't know how any of that shit works. Ugh. What up, Fernando? What up? What up, man? I appreciate you popping in. I saw your comment on my prediction video over there. I appreciate that, bro. Oh, yeah, Sean, you're absolutely right. Billy Stark should have been the one. Yeah, man, absolutely right. Yes, right there. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Sean. My guy, Sean, I appreciate you, bro. I wish I could give you guys super chats or do something too. Like, I wish there was like a way YouTube needs to do something. I guess that would show favoritism. I don't know. But like, I wish there was something that I could do for you guys too. But I appreciate you, bro. Thank you so much. Yeah, man. She absolutely 100% should have been the one. And again, and I think I've said too, like, I will not just me, right? But I think the general consensus is that Athena will be involved in the All In, especially with it being a Texas lineup. So I would imagine she's probably going to lose her title, her Ring of Honor title, sometime soon, and then I don't want to say get called up to the main roster type thing, right? But kind of be called over to Dynamite and go from there. And that's why I'm hopeful for the women's division this year, and that's why I was like shake shit up with the predictions, which we'll finally get into here in a second. But yeah, man, it's just strange. It's just strange. And let me know if you guys can hear my dog. She is chewing on this fucking loud ass hammer, dude. I mentioned in the past, but like these hammers are just amazing. Like they've lasted for God almost a year now, but they're just loud as fuck, loud as fuck, and it's so annoying. It's like bittersweet because it keeps the dogs occupied, right? And especially my dog Kahlo. She we can't have anything nice because of her. She destroys every toy that she gets. She's that type like she just takes it and just like swings it back and forth. Like she loves destroying shit. So finally found a hammer that is Kahlo proof, but that shit is loud as anything. So if you guys can hear it in the background, let me know and I'll do something. Yo, Sai, what up? What up? Well, I'll get back to you, world. What up, my friend? Greetings from Nebraska. Can't stop but just dropping by to say I appreciate you. I'll watch back later. I appreciate you, Sai. And again, always shout out Sai for the overlay. He's amazing. I'm so blessed to have you guys. Thank you guys. I appreciate y'all. But enjoy Nebraska, dude. I wonder how that weather is out there. Yo, what up? What up? World Pro Wrestling. You say hello to RVD for me, MJ from UK. Man, if I could talk to RVD, I would, man. I would. Um, he's the guy, man. He's amazing, dude. I was actually going back and watching some of his old matches, and I've talked about it before, but that match that he had against Jeff Hardy and Invasion, one of my favorites. One of my favorites. Sean, yeah, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys. Yeah. Yeah, just in regards to the dog. But I mean, shit, if my audio is bad too, let me know. Let me know. But okay, we will be getting into the card here and going through the predictions. Like I said, I always like, I'm like, okay, now we're gonna get to it. It's like 20 fucking minutes into the show. Like, God, I'm one of those people. All right, I'm gonna close that guy out now. Oh dear. Well, first of all, I think the final tally came in over 10,000 for the attendance. Again, like that was the other thing I was on Twitter for, trying to see on WrestleTix the final attendance, but I couldn't find it. Well, I'm not gonna say I couldn't find it. I didn't put too much effort into it, but I didn't see it readily. So I was like, and again, like I was just so scared of spoilers because I didn't want it to judge me talking to you guys here too. You know what I mean? So I do it for the people, man. I look out for you guys. Oh, you gotta be careful with looking this shit up too here. But of course, we know we have the tag team match with Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega facing off against Konosuke Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher. This one, and again, if you listen to my predictions on my channel, Kikash Podcast, you know that I kind of stepped out of the box. Is what they call it. I kind of just went crazy with my predictions. Like my thing was shake shit up, you know, like why not? And the answer to the why not, I probably know, right? It's most likely very obvious, right? Like this isn't a live show. This isn't something that's airing even at a decent time for the vast majority of your audience, right? No offense, but so that is a reason why a lot of times companies don't want to do anything big, because it's going to be on delay. The spoilers are going to get out before it airs elsewhere. So I get it. However, if you're going to travel and you're going to do shows like this and you're going to have title matches, it can't just be a given, right? It can't just be all the champions retain, all the baby faces win, like everything's kumbaya. No, like shake shit up, dude. Like make it to where, like, when you announce a not even a card, but when you announce that you're coming back the following year, like, yo, like I know there was some shit going into this show, but man, the actual show itself really delivered. Like, I'm gonna take a chance. I'm gonna get my tickets for next year, you know, because I didn't think, for instance, like Toni Storm was gonna win, but she won, you know, like, or whatever. So you can't just be safe, you know, like you can't just hold out all the good shit for us here in North America. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't matter about the time difference and anything like that. Like my opinion is, if you're cool with traveling outside of the good old US, right? Yeah. In the North American market and things like that, and like the standard time zone, then you need to be willing to pull the trigger on some stuff too. And like, yeah, like maybe we won't see it live, but if we care enough, and as we should, we will see it. So to me, I've just always been in that camp of like, don't blow your load, right? Like all at once, but like, dude, like don't be so safe, right? And don't even not bring the gun to begin with. You know what I mean? So it's like, I hope that they're, I don't want to say risky, but like I hope that they really take a chance. And the one that I'll kind of hold on to that, but there's one in particular that I really hope that they pull the trigger on. I don't know why I'm like gearing towards violence today, but yeah, we'll get to that one in a second. But this tag match, I think that, and with my prediction here, this was kind of why I went on that little spiel. But of course, with Kyle Fletcher, we know that he is an Aussie native, right? And he had been hitting the scenes, and I will say too, he looks great. Like I wasn't a fan of his haircut when he first, buzzed his hair months ago at this point now. But dude has really like he cleans up nice, man. Like when he's in a suit, he's out there like doing media and stuff. Like a couple months ago, he did like a weather forecast, which is really entertaining. He's just really impressed me, man. He's got something, and he can really. I'm not gonna say like he'll be the next face of the promotion or anything, but if you really stick with Fletcher, man, like you can really get something a star out of him within the next year or so. Which again, I will continue to go back to this hill. I still think he should have won that Continental Classic tournament. I still think if he wasn't the one to directly dethrone Okada, he should have at least won that tournament, right? Like if he would have had Okada lose prior, and then I just feel like they kept it safe there for for literally no reason too, because Kenny Omega comes back right when Okada retains the championship, hands the title to Okada, and then that's it. What? Did I miss something? Like okay, like you come back and you hand the title to Okada, so it's like okay, bet, and which makes sense, right? Because the Elite is the ones who took him out, yada yada. So okay, bet makes total sense. Next time you're on Dynamite, you're fucking around with Will Ospreay and the Don Callis family. So it's like what? Like, and no mention of Okada since, unless I missed something from Omega. So it's like, why? Like, why even do that? Like, and again, like I'm not. It sounds like it, but I'm not like terribly angry on it, but it just literally made no sense. And if that was the whole reason why Okada won the champion, or not won the championship, but won the tournament and retained the championship, then that makes even less sense, because like you're not even following up immediately with Omega and Okada. I get they probably want to hold off and do that at All In, which is fine. But like you still like, what was the point of having Omega present Okada with the championship to begin with then? I don't know. It's just very odd to me. Very odd. Ugh. All right. Oh, but yes, I was going to go to the chat here really quick. But my official predictions for the tag match, I say screw it, man. I know it's not going to happen, but I say screw it. Go with Kyle Fletcher and Konosuke to win the tag match, but I know they're not going to. This is Omega's, well, not his. If you ask Omega, it's his first match back in Dynamite or in AEW. But it's the first like big profile match, it's not like a big singles match, but it's still a big match that he's back for, with teaming, of course, obviously with Ospreay. They're calling it the Dream Team or whatever. So if you want to send the fans, I'm happy, and especially if you go with the other options that I predicted that I choose, it would make more sense for Omega and Ospreay to win. But I just feel like you could do something fun here and have Fletcher like squeak out the victory or whatever. But we'll see. But my pick is going to be Fletcher and Takeshita winning the match, but I know most likely it's going to be Omega and Ospreay, which is fine. And I was surprised too that this match didn't end up being like a no DQ, or like, well, they already have a Brisbane brawl, but like just something, at least a no DQ. It's just a standard tag match, which is crazy because like they've been brawling and like beating the hell out of each other every week, but now we're just gonna have a regular tag match. It's just kind of funny. But yeah. Right, because the Moxley one is the Brisbane Brawl match. Now I'm fucking confusing myself. Hey. Pulling up the card. Yeah, the Death Riders, Moxley and yeah, I was right. Sometimes I say shit and I'm like, am I right? What I just say is right? And like sometimes I'll be like, I'll say something and like and not even question myself, and then after I say, I'm like, yo, that can't be right. And then I think about it, I'm like, yeah, that's totally right. Like I don't want to be in my brain. It's fucking ridiculous. The Boss, you say still a new listener. Ever been to a Mania? The Boss, well, I appreciate you being a new listener, man. I hope you check me out on my show too. I'm trying to get better this year, just with everything scheduling wise. But yes, my first WrestleMania was WrestleMania 35. I was very lucky to go to that. I was a big Becky Lynch fan at the time, and Ronda Rousey. So I was obviously hopeful that they were gonna have a singles match, but I was still happy that Becky ended up. And again, like I know the storyline and the build in like 2019, 2018 was a shit year for WWE, and in 2020 for that matter. But I still enjoyed it. I was lucky enough to get in and get out right before all the bullshit happened with the transportation. It was actually kind of funny. Like because obviously WrestleMania is in April. I think it was that June or maybe that February. Yeah, I think it was like that February of that year. I actually tore my meniscus and some other shit in my knee. It wasn't obviously the ATL. It wasn't anything too crazy, but it was still enough to not be right. So I had to be in a brace, but I was like, and they had to do surgery on it or whatever. I said meniscus is some other shit. I don't know, but they had to do surgery, and they were like, okay, well, we could do certain like they wanted to do the surgery like I think it was like a week or two before WrestleMania, and I was like, bro, I can't. I can't. So I pushed my surgery out after WrestleMania. So I had to walk through, and it was obviously that Mania was in New York. I had to walk all through New York, man, the streets of New York, in this fucking long ass knee brace, dude. And it was one of those knee braces because I wasn't supposed to be bending my knee. It was one of those long braces where like it goes from like your looking at my knee like you guys can see it, but it goes from like your mid thigh to like your calf. And dude, like I was just swinging that little leg around. Oh, my dog is dying here. Okay, she's alive. But I was swinging my leg around and looked like this fucking crazy person. But I say that because all the bullshit when with the timing and everything, because of the public transportation and all that shit, getting back from New Jersey to New York, where a lot of people were staying, especially if you bought the package, which is what I did. It started raining, right? Like right before the main event went on at midnight, and the transportation was shit. So like I think it was like a New Jersey Transit, or I don't know what it was, but one of those trains, like they only had two going, and there was like obviously thousands and thousands of people. So me and the little group of guys that I just randomly met up with, I just be making like random friends, just good thing and bad thing. But they were like, yeah, like they helped me like get out. But once we got to there's a barricade, and there was like obviously like stampede people trying to get on the train. One of the security dudes saw me, and he looked at my leg. Obviously, it was in a brace, and he was like, "Oh, do you need to get through here?" And I was like, "Oh, that would be great." So he literally let me and my friends through, and we got on the first train. We got out of there, bro. And I was just so fucking thankful, man, because a lot of those people were stuck there until like 3, 4 in the morning, and I didn't get back to New York until like 5, 6 a.m., which is just crazy. But yeah, so that was my first Mania, and then I went to WrestleMania 40 last year, which was dope as well. I was lucky with that one too because my family lives in Philadelphia, so I literally just had to buy my tickets and my flight there. I got to stay with them, which was great, like a win-win, right? I get to see the fam and get to enjoy some wrestling. But yeah, dude, if you're ever able to go to a Mania, I definitely recommend it. Especially, well, nowadays the tickets are getting insanely expensive, like just dumb expensive. But if you're able to make it work, just the whole vibe and the feeling around it, like that whole week, man, it's just something special. It's just really something special. The access is great. Like the WrestleMania access, the fan access is just such a blast. So, actually, my friend Dan, he's going out to Vegas. I don't think he's going to WrestleMania proper, but he's going out there for the events leading up to it. So definitely check it out if you can. But I know it's getting fucking crazy nowadays. So, may need to start saving now for next year. I mean, you could be a baller, but I ain't a baller, so I gotta start saving for shit like that. I agree, Sean. Though you say not sure who wins this match, none of them should be getting pinned, which is brave. But had the story with Will and Kenny was rushed, which did hurt this. Yeah, dude. Again, like it's a great point. They went through the happy phase, the breakup phase, and then the rekindling phase and the getting back together phase all within like 15 minutes. That one Dynamite show, and I was just like, you gotta be kidding me, bro. Like, Omega went from saying like, oh, I hate you, like I'll never trust you, yada 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 is I guess my thing now. And then 15 minutes later, like, Will, oh, I should have trusted you for always, man. Like, you're a great guy, Will. Like, oh yeah, let's team up. Like, what, bro? Like, come on, man. Like, what? Like, I forgave people, like life is too short, but like, bro, like, can you at least like make them work for it? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. It's just great. Costi, no, is it, or the show pre-recorded. Are you talking about this show? Because if you're talking about me and this show, we are live, pal. We are live. But if you're talking about Grand Slam, then yeah, they've already recorded that show. They've already done that show. But yeah. And you say, oh, some way to watch a match. So I can't say it here, but there are some platforms if you search how to watch AEW, or watch any wrestling for that matter, there are some platforms that are available, is what I'll say. But just look that up. I don't want to get in trouble, but you know what I mean. I don't want to get these sites shut down. But there are ways. There are ways. But to be proper, you can watch it streaming on Max on delay, and you can watch it on TNT whenever the fuck the NBA All-Star game ends. So could be 10, 11, 11:30, 12. No, no. Y'all know today because no one told us the time. There was one graphic that had 8 p.m., which is wrong. But yeah, it's whenever the NBA All-Stars end. Why they didn't air it live on Max, it blows my mind still, but whatever. Whatever. I don't get paid the big bucks to know. And yes, we will be definitely getting to this match. I'm actually going to go to that match next. So I just want to go through your comments here and make sure I don't miss anybody. Okay, Sean, you said you want Mercedes to retain. Harley has won one match on TV. I like her and she's gotten better, but I'm sold. Yeah, I think you probably meant I'm not sold yet to put a title on her. And that's a very fair point. Oh, bro, the boss. You say mine was last year, lived a dream aside from the cold weather. Oh, respect to you, bro. And again, if you're male, female, like I call everyone like dude, bro, man, all that stuff. So I don't mean no disrespect or whatever. But yo, like you probably we you probably did. Like, did you go to the Access or anything like that, or because I was all in them streets, man. And you probably saw me because I was. I mean, I wouldn't have stood out, but I'm such an idiot, bro. Like I've been chilling at my aunt's place and I fell asleep and then I wanted to go like, obviously with timing and everything. I was like, oh, I want to go to Access really quick. And then they were Busted Open was doing like this show or whatever. So I was like, all right, I want to do this and this. So I fell asleep at my aunt's house, which whatever, but I forgot to charge my phone. I was like, oh, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. But I did not take into account that I am that person that takes like 1,000 pictures of something that you only need 5 pictures for. So my phone, I've been using my phone during the Access, the Pat McAfee show, all that shit. My phone ended up dying. And I was like, oh no. Like, because I am terrible with directions. Terrible with directions. Like, I am that person. If GPS wasn't a thing, I'd be out there on the street somewhere lost, like just wandering around. It's just ridiculous. Ridiculous. But so yeah, let me know if you went to the Access, but like I had to walk to like a local 7-Eleven, and like thankfully the dude there was super nice and he let me like charge my phone, like he let me use his charger. But yeah, usually you could have seen me anywhere, yeah. But to be fair, I bought the cheapest seats. I bought fucking nosebleed seats, which were actually still pretty good. But yeah, yeah, that was actually pretty cool. And are you going to a show in the future? I don't know where exactly you stay at, if you're in the Philly area proper, but the next show I'll be going to is actually TNA, which I know is like a drastic difference from WrestleMania. I know that, but just the next show I'll be going to is the live TNA show on actually this coming Thursday rather, and then the taping that they'll be doing on Friday, which I'm super pumped for. Super, super pumped. Da, da, da. All right, going through here. What up, Azan? Oh, what up, Azan? You're here. A prediction show for a taped show. Yeah, because it hasn't aired. So yeah, that is right. I mean, I don't know. Like I don't know, Azan. Like you say, who will be watching for 1 a.m. Be Real? I don't know. Like, I mean, I'm probably not gonna be watching at 1 a.m. Like I said, I'll probably be watching Sunday, but it just depends on when it starts. So if you know what time it starts, you can let us know if you have the inside scoop there is on. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. So we'll see. We'll see. I think it's gonna be a good show though, still. But now, I think it was the boss, right? Regarding was it you, boss, who had said regarding the Oh, it's Costy. Sorry, it's Costy. Your prediction for the Mercedes and Harley match. So this was the one I was referencing earlier, where I was like, man, just fuck it and pull it, like just shake shit up and pull the trigger. I was one of those people that I wasn't really like enthralled with Harley Cameron. I was like, okay, like whatever, like they're just treating her as a joke, like she's not a comedy act, but she's just not obviously not taken seriously, you know. So I didn't put much credit into like her even being a challenger for Mercedes. This woman has won me over. I will say I am a new fan of Harley Cameron. She shut my mouth and she just really won me over, man. Like, and again, I'm not gonna sit here and say like, oh, she's gonna be the new face of the women's division or like she's the answer to all their problems or anything crazy like that. All I can say is that promo that she did on Dynamite, where it started off as that little like rap video, whatever, like her and the puppet or whatever, and she's a ventriloquist, right? Like she's fucking amazing. Like the start of that, and when I went to rewatch it, I was blown away that it was less than 2 minutes, the whole thing. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, just amazing. But she went from that rap into transitioning into a serious promo. And the story that she told, and when she transitioned into that sit down serious promo, I was like, I stopped what I was doing and I really like, I paid attention. I was like, yo, like, she's making, no offense, Hendry, but she's making me a believer, man. Like, I was like, yo, like, she, do it. Do it. And like, it really, it got me in. I kind of feel like a hypocrite because I am definitely one of those people that like just because they're in someone's home market doesn't mean you need to give them just a feel good victory. But I think you could really make a case for her Mercedes here. And it's not a strong case, right? And it's just more of my personal preference and my personal want. But I think you could really do something big here and pull the trigger on Harley and really hit the ground running with her, right? And it would free up Mercedes because it's still weird to me that Mercedes' first thing was wanting to go for the TBS championship and not the actual women's world championship. So that's just odd, but it would obviously free her up for that. If you want her to become the AEW women's champion prior to All In to defend against Athena, you could set that up and kind of get the ball rolling for that. But again, it's just depending on what you want to do when and at what show and obviously with who, right? That's with anything. But I just think that the fanfare that she's gained, she being Harley Cameron, I think that, and obviously with it being in her hometown, like I just feel, well, home country, you have a chance to make a star here. And I think it could honestly go one of two ways though. I don't think that if she loses, it's going to break her. I honestly do think, and this is contradicting my own thoughts or my own prediction, but I think that if you have her lose here, it needs, first of all, it needs to be at least 10-15 minute match. And again, I'm not saying like she's the best in the ring or anything like that, but you don't know unless you try, right? Like you can't make 50 shots if you don't shoot 50 times. You know what I mean? So it's like you don't know unless you try. So you go out there, and I'm not saying like call an audible or anything like that in the ring. Like you go out there and you just have a kick-ass match and you really just let her shine, right? You give her 10-15 minutes with Mercedes, who, again, say what you want about Mercedes' character, like the promos and everything like that, but Mercedes is amazing in the ring, right? I think if Harley is going to have a stand-up performance, like this is the best opponent to do it against, right? So go out there and just let them cook, as the kids say nowadays. Just let them cook, man. Let them go out there and let Harley Cameron just really body that match. And again, not like one-sided, but just make it be a competitive, you know? And then even if you do have Harley lose the match and have Mercedes retain to go on and face whomever, I think that as long as you put in a good match, that visual of her getting a standing ovation from her hometown people and just being emotional and just really embracing that, like, man, like she was so close, she was right there, she didn't get it this time, but she'll get it next time. I think that could really propel her momentum even more and kind of give you, like us fans, the agony of her defeat, right? Be like, man, like she was so close, like she did amazing, like we're on the bandwagon with her now, like let's go, like no, like, and kind of like a, not like one of those movements where like she's getting unfairly treated, but like kind of like a We Won Cody type thing from last year, right? And again, like I know it's very different levels, but just the core is what I'm referring to. You can have, hopefully, right, in their world, you can have people really champion for her, right, and really have like a fans well is what we'll call it, of support for her. So my heart wants Harley Cameron to win. I think it'd be really fun for the division, but I don't see it happening. So like my heart's pick is Harley Cameron, but what they most likely will do is have Mercedes retain. And I don't even think that's the worst decision, really, but I just think that it's the safest decision. And I don't know. My fear too for Harley is that what is she going to do after this? Because again, like I try to be positive, but AEW does have that issue, and WWE fairly, because we don't have time. But look at what they're doing with the US and IC champs for the women's division. Like they both got pinned. You know what I mean? So my fear is that she'll just go like out of sight, out of mind. And she's just such a great talent. She's so talented. So that's my fear if she doesn't win the championship. So we'll see, obviously, but again, my official pick, because I'm going with my heart, is Harley Cameron, but I know most likely Mercedes is gonna win. So I just want them to have fun. No, I just want them to have a good match, and I just really want this to be a breakout performance for Harley one way or another. So that's my long story short of it. But yeah, you about to get. See, I gave you credit earlier. You say, are we going to talk about how Cope is the most creative name in wrestling history? Your jokes. Is he winning the tag? And do you think Edge is winning at Revolution? No, I do not. No, I do not think he's winning at Revolution. And Cope is a fucking awful name. I can't cope with it. I know that joke is out there, but I can't. Bro, like I don't think he's winning at Revolution, but I think that's going to be a brutal match, and I think for whatever reason, if they don't, depending on how nasty they get here in the Brisbane Brawl, which we'll just we'll just transition into that match. I think that you could really make a case for Moxley and Adam Copeland having a death match. You know what I mean? Like not. You guys remember what the fuck was the name of it? Oh my god. With Kenny Omega and John Moxley when they were in Daly's place and the little sparklers went off. Oh my god, the death match. Oh, what was the official name of it? Oh my god, it's drawing a blank. But the funniest thing was when after like the little sparklers went off and after Eddie Kingston came in and sacrificed himself or whatever he tried to, when Tony Khan, after like people asked him about like the little sparklers, and he was like, well, what did you expect us to blow them up or some shit? I'm just like, bro, no, of course not, but we expected more than fucking sparklers on the ring post. Oh, the good old days. But nah, dude, so my point with that was, depending on how nasty they get here in the tag team match, I could really see that being a whatever type of match they want to call it. But I think that could be fun because when Copeland was wearing the red and black flannel, I got flashbacks to him and was it Cactus Jack? But it was Mick Foley at WrestleMania. I forget which incarnation of Mick Foley it was, but I don't think it was the name Cactus Jack. Maybe it was just Mick Foley. But that hardcore match that they had with the flaming table and everything was it WrestleMania 22? I think it was WrestleMania 22. I should know that because that was I think that was one of like my favorite manias, as I hardly remember anything of it. But yeah. So with that match though, long story short, I think the Death Riders are going to. I think they're going to. So my thought originally was that Adam Copeland and Jay White were going to win here because another feel good victory or whatever, and it'll make sense too because you would assume that Moxley is going to beat Copeland beat Copeland at Revolution, because wouldn't that be some shit if Copeland beat Moxley for the championship? What the hell? But I don't know, like something just tells me like the Death Riders may pull it out somehow, but I don't know. I think that I don't think that Copeland's going to win at Revolution, but it would be odd to me, like especially, well, I guess it just depends on the flow of the remaining matches as well, but I would just really want to see how they have Copeland and Jay White lose, but my pick is going to be Copeland and Jay White to win just for that matter, because Copeland's going to be facing off against Moxley at Revolution. It would make sense to give him a little bit quote unquote momentum, right? So yeah, my thoughts on that. All right. What up, CB? What up, bro? Dude, yeah, WWE is so better now, especially as the PLEs are on Netflix. I love the transition to Netflix, dude. I love everything about it. And props to them because they've been in like the top trending shows too. Like I was scrolling through Netflix last night to just throw whatever on, and it was like in the top searches, it was like number 4 or something. I was like, yo, that's props to them, bro. Props to them. Oh, bro, I'm still using that crap. Yeah, so lucky. I can't wait for the PLEs to be on Netflix, but bro, I'm still using that crap ass Peacock too, man. I like that crap ass. I'm gonna probably steal that crap ass Peacock, man. I fucking hate Peacock, bro. Okay, that's a little extreme. I appreciate it more now than when they originally transitioned over to Peacock, because that shit was just for the birds. But man, it's still so annoying trying to search for shit, and it's just not in my opinion, not user friendly. Just wild. 1 sec. Okay, I'm back. But yeah, so my thoughts on that match, and then next we'll go to Kazuchika Okada facing off against Buddy Matthews for the Continental Championship. Again, I know you guys just have fun with me here. I know Okada is gonna win, okay? I know. But I want Buddy Matthews to win, man. My heart, and these are my predictions. So I want Buddy Matthews to win. And predictions are kind of up in the air, right? Because there's predictions that we think that the company is gonna actually make, or our own personal predictions, right? So me personally, I think he could really do wonders with Buddy Matthews. I know he's not going to win because the whole tag team thing. I get it. But I think it could still be fun. Regardless of, this match is going to be amazing. I think this is going to be a low-key sleeper in the match if they give him enough time. And shout out too to Tony Khan for only having 5 matches. That's how you know. That should have been the indicator right there that this shit ain't a pay-per-view. But yeah, I think it's going to be a phenomenal match. And I hope, I said this with the tournament, so I'm not holding my breath, but I hope we end up getting serious Okada. Like, I almost viewed it as like a slap in the face of Buddy Matthews when Matthews was approaching Okada backstage and challenging him to the match, and he was being serious, obviously, right? Because Matthews ain't no jokester. But he was being serious, and Okada like just kind of downplayed it, and then like Matthews walked off and he called him a bitch or whatever, and it's like, okay, bro, like, okay, like, it was cute. Like, can we like get serious here? Like, it's just kind of getting to me, man. Like, and I'm going to stay hopeful again, as even though this was my pitch going into and my hopes going into and coming out of the classic, that Okada was going to be serious after that, and he obviously has not been. He's barely been on TV, and I'm so happy it ain't my money, bro, because if I was paying this dude millions of dollars and this is what I was getting, I'd be pissed. And again, it's no knock on Okada, because he's just doing what they're telling him to do and what they want him to be doing. So if I was Okada, I'd be like, shit, where's my check? You want me to say bitch? Okay, bet. You know what I mean? Because he's already proven himself, right? Like, he's Okada. But the same token too, like, a lot of people in the States know of the name of Okada, but they're not 100% familiar with him. So why you're presenting him in this light, like, I don't know. It's just bonkers to me, but we'll see, man. And where the fuck is Eddie Kingston? I don't know why I just thought about him, but where's Eddie Kingston? Like, I know he was like ACL, but like, bro, like, come on, man. We need you. We need you to come back. And I think it'd be so intriguing to see Eddie Kingston interacting with Moxley, especially with like this whole Death Riders thing. I think it'd be very intriguing to see like his thoughts, or to hear his thoughts and to see his reaction and stuff like that. So I miss Eddie Kingston, man. Fucking miss Eddie Kingston for sure. But my guy, you're funny. You're funny, bro. Yeah, lights out is on. Yeah, thank you, bro. Mox and Copeland, lights out match. That could work. That would be good. That's what I was trying to think of. That would be great. That would be great. 21. Was it 21? Was it WrestleMania 21 the hardcore match? Sorry guys, my dog is just like doing this thing with her foot, and I just don't want to be like, she hates spray bottles, so if she's doing something, all you gotta do is like shake a bottle, and that's what I was doing. I just don't want it to be all up in your guys' ear. But yeah, so lights out match. Was it WrestleMania 21? Because wasn't 21 in Los Angeles or like California? And I feel like the match in that, like, the photographic memory, right? Like, my memory is placing them in, like, it had to be, I don't know. I think it was 22. But regardless, fucking great match. That's what I was talking about, though. Fernando, you say Mercedes is having a Roman type of title reign. Cameron cannot be the one to dethrone Mercedes. It has to be a bigger name. Yeah, man, I know. It just hurts my heart. Just hurts my heart. But moving on, we will be getting to the one where I think we will have a title change, specifically, and that is with Timeless Tony Storm facing off against Mariah May. Moi to Timeless Tony Storm, because what can't this girl do, right? What can't this woman do? So like her dressing up as Mariah May, oh, just beautiful, 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 beautiful. Like I could say so much, but I'm not going to. I don't know how Mariah May sat there and didn't crack a smile, because like, if I was Mariah May, which, oh, one can hope, right? If I was Mariah May and I saw Tony Storm coming out there and doing such a phenomenal job at being me, I would have cracked up and be like, yo, like she's a better me than I am. And I'm not saying that, but that's what I would have thought. But no, like there's only one Mariah May, right? There's only one Tony Storm. They each have their own positives, right? But no, like Timeless Tony Storm, man, like she's fucking incredible. I'm not 100% certain why like, she needed to go like why she had like the memory lapse or whatever, but I think it was a fun story, so I'm not even gonna sit here and harp on that. I do think it would be a miss though if they do not have Tony Storm winning the championship back here. Obviously, of course, if you're not gonna have Harley Cameron win, you at least want one woman to win the championship, especially in her home country, right? So my money, my brain, and my heart both are aligned on this one, and I'm saying Tony Storm wins, and it's not too like, oh my god, like that big of a drastic prediction or anything crazy like that. But I think it's time, and I say that because Mariah May hasn't been doing much with the championship either, which is no fault of hers. It's booking, right? At least we've seen her on TV, I will say, but it just sucks that her whole reign was really just like a holding pattern until she got right back to Tony Storm. So, and yes, she obviously had some matches in between, but it was just kind of a bummer, man. Kind of a bummer. Had to move my PlayStation controller. But yeah, so I think with this one, it's probably a no-brainer that Tony Storm is gonna win. But I mean, man, if you want to get some real heat on Mariah May, fucking have her beat Tony Storm in Australia. That'd be crazy. But yeah, and I think also this should be the main event. I think with the lay of the land and the match card, I think this would be a perfect opportunity to end a big show with your women's, especially your women's world championship match, but your women's division. You have talent who can fit the bill, right? And it's not that unbelievable that this card, or this match rather, is main eventing this card. So I think the stars are aligning for that, and I say why not? So my pick for that one is Tony Storm, and again, like I just nothing too crazy or you're like, oh my god. But I do hope that with Mariah May going forward, because I could see a quick rematch too for this one. I could see a quick rematch at Revolution. I kind of view Revolution, the remaining matches that we're going to get, kind of like a all in, all out type of time frame, where you have like the original match and then the rematch shortly after. But we'll see. We will see. But I think that was the whole card. Look at us. We did it. Look at us, guys. But as promised, before we wrap up here, we will go over WWE Vengeance Day and the card that is. I think, are they in DC for this one? I think they're in DC for this one as well. And this one, I'm pretty certain will be airing at 6 p.m. I don't know if that's the official. Yeah, the start time is 6 p.m. I don't know if that's for the kickoff show, because that seems a little early for the main event or the main card, but it'll start off at 6 p.m. But the actual match card that we have here. Yep, here we go. We have your NXT Championship match. Obafemi, of course, is your championship, facing off in a multi-man match, a triple threat, versus Grayson Waller versus Austin Theory. They were teasing some dissension between Waller and Theory, so we'll see if that actually stays the thing and becomes a thing, right? But I don't see Fema. I combined his first and last name. I do not see Obafemi winning here, especially since he just won the title, what was it, last month or something? So I don't see him losing here, especially to Grayson Waller or Austin Theory. I'm with Wade Keller. I still think there's something with Austin Theory, but they are just not entertaining that right now. So, and I don't think they will be, especially with the inclusion of our guy Ricky Starks now, the absolute one. I think a match between him and Obafemi and a little feud would be really entertaining. So, and I think too that Femi is going to be called up to the main roster probably, if I had to pick, like right after WrestleMania. So I get like I'm not saying he has to be because I could see them wanting him to kind of stay down there a little bit longer and get a little bit more seasoning, but I can also see them too just being like, screw it, man. Like this guy's money. We want to bring him up after Mania. So I see him retaining for sure. But I hope we get like a feud between him and Ricky Starks coming. Because I just the clash of styles, right? It was just sometimes like two opposites. Well, obviously opposites attract, but I think just the vast difference between them two that could be really fun. We have next the NXT Women's Championship match. Of course, your champion is Julia defending against Roxanne Perez, Bailey, and Cora Jade in a fatal four-way match. This one, oh man, this is going to be such a match. Like, I can't wait to see Bailey and Julia interact as well. And shout out Bailey, man. Like, she was just at the celebrity basketball game. I wasn't able to watch her, so I don't know how much playtime she got or whatever. But shout out to Bay, man. She's been all around the world. Literally. This girl's been everywhere. So props to her. And hope she's resting. Like, get R&R, girl. Like, take care of yourself too. But she's riding that high, and I'm happy for her. But this one, I see this now. You can't make a case where it's a multi-women match. But I just don't see any of the other. I don't. Especially because I feel like Cora Jade, it's not too much longer for her and Perez to be caught up to the main roster as well. So my pick here is Julia retaining. But I think you could have some fun with having Bailey be the NXT champion. But I don't want to see that because I don't want Julia to lose the championship so soon. And I guess it's not so soon, but I just don't want to see her lose a championship right now. But I think Bailey could be a fun little foil, right? And who was it? Cora Jade that dressed up as Bailey? I think it was Cora Jade, or was it Roxanne? And it came out to like Bailey's old music and the Bailey, like, oh, you guys remember Hugger Bailey? Phenomenal. Next we have, so yeah, my official pick is Julia retaining. And next we have the NXT Women's North American Championship. Your champion Fallon Henley. I can't talk. Your champion Fallon Henley defending against Stephanie Vaquer. And this one, I do think we're going to get a title change here. I think we're going to have Stephanie pick up the W here. But I hope this is a good showcasing match for Fallon Henley as well. I think that if you give them 10, 15 minutes to really have Fallon shine, I think you can really showcase her talents and show her improvement too. Like, again, she was one of those when I first saw her at NXT, I was like, yo, like, it was just one of those people, like, it felt like a signing where, like, they were just signing, like, any athlete or whatever and trying to make them into a wrestler. But she has really grown and she has really improved. So shout out to her. But I think this is Stephanie's time, man. I think it'd be as your North American women's champion, and then Julia as your women's champion. It's kind of like just controlling the division, right? And then of course their paths will cross at some point. But it wouldn't completely surprise me if Henley won, but I think it kind of would still. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like this is a good match for Stephanie to win, and a good match for Henley to lose, really, too, because like there's no L really in losing to Vaquer. So yeah, I think that'd be a good match though for sure. NXT Tag Team Championships. We have Axiom and Nathan Frazier defending against Josh Briggs and Yoshiki Inamura. I'm stuck with names. Bro, fucking Fraxium is amazing. Frazier and Axiom, like, you want to talk about hitting the towns too in the roads. Like, they recently defended against the Hardy Boys. They're in TNA, so that was pretty cool. But I don't think that they're gonna be losing the championships anytime soon. And at least right now. So, and that was another reason too. I was saying Henley will probably lose the championship just because you want to have one title change, right? At least do something. So I see Fraxium retaining here. And man, Nathan Frazier, if you guys don't know, was trained by Seth Rollins, and you can tell, right? Like, his moveset. Frazier is gonna be a nice mid-carder for the main roster, right? Like, I'm not gonna say ever, but I don't necessarily see him as being like a main event guy. But again, we're still very, very young, and who knows, crazier things have happened. But he is just so solid, and the little mannerisms and the little things that he does in the ring, and his selling too. I just think, I mean, again, look at who trained him, right? But I just think there's something special there. But I really enjoy, and again, I'm not gonna sit here and act like I watch it religiously, but like the matches that I have seen with him and Axiom, like, they're such a good tag team. And I never would have thought either, like, I don't want to say two opposites, but just like two people that you wouldn't necessarily think like a pairing, making such a great team. So props to them. But I don't see Fraxium losing here. So I think they're going to retain. And then we have Javon Evans facing off against Ethan Page. I'm just so happy for Ethan Page still that he's in NXT. I don't know. This one is kind of a little bit more tricky for me. I think we're going to have... Oh, I have to sneeze. Oh, excuse me, guys. This one I could see like a little low-key upset victory for Javon. And I don't think it would hurt Ethan Page, so I'm gonna say fuck it. Have a little upset victory here and have Evans I almost said dethrone, but knock off Ethan Page. Again, to me, Ethan Page isn't going to take an L here, and I was hopeful that Josh Alexander was going to come into NXT, but I think there was reports that he's going to be signing with AEW, which I'm bummed about because he's just going to get lost in the sauce there, and he's such a good talent, and I just wanted him to have space to really grow. But hey, man, obviously it's his life, he knows what's best for him, right? But as a fan, I was just hoping he was going to go to NXT, but we'll see. And then last up on the card, we have Eddie Thorpe facing off against Trick Williams in a strap match. And bro, Trick Williams, man, like that dude is something special. He it's just a matter of time for him in the main roster as well. And it's crazy, but I think he actually ended up doing a little bit better, at least initially starting off on the main roster with the transition, than his former I almost said protege, but his former partner, Carmelo Hayes. So at least Melo's getting some victories now, even though it's just fucking what? Last week was Tazara, and this week was R-Truth. So at least they're W's though. But for this one, I think Trick Williams is gonna I'm gonna say retain, but I think he's gonna win the match here. You could shake shit up and have Eddie Thorpe win, but I think they're gonna want to keep the hype and I don't want to say goodwill, but I think they're just gonna keep like momentum, I guess, or just whatever on Trick's side. But yeah, it's gonna be really interesting to see what they do with him and when they call him up to the main roster and what they end up doing with him overall. If he's gonna go and interact directly with Carmelo, or if he's gonna go in a different roster completely. But we'll see. And you would imagine, right? But probably within the next year or so. I'm almost surprised that maybe it'll be after Mania. But I'm almost surprised because he didn't even make an appearance in the Rumble. So I don't know. Maybe they wanted to stay down there and cook a little bit longer. But guys, we will be wrapping up here shortly in the next couple moments here. I'm just gonna go through your comments here and wrap up because I do have to slide out and go get those tires replaced. Sean, you say it was 22. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate that. And again, thank you again for your super chat, bro. I really appreciate you very, very much. Yeah. It was a nasty injury that Eddie Kingston had. I know, but I just feel like it's been like over a year now. Again, I am not one of those like comebacks, like now, like take as much time as you need. But as a fan, I'm just like, bro, I miss you. Yeah, Sean, that was my fear too. Like, what happens with Mariah if she ends up losing? So we'll see. But I mean, like, they gotta like people lose, right? So that's the main thing. Like, Tony Khan needs to handle the follow up. Is my fear for a lot of wrestlers, right? Yeah, Zion, it's time for Austin and Grayson to break up. Yeah, dude. Yeah, kickoff is at 6 p.m. Appreciate that, man. Yeah, Zion, I'm ready for A-Town Down to break up. Yeah, dude, me too. I wonder, like, do you think Grayson is going to be the face or I'm going to say Grayson or Waller or Theory? Yeah, and that's what I was thinking too. Give him another year or so, just to let him kind of polish a little bit more. And yeah, shout out and what up, Jesse? Shout out to Michelle McCool, being the latest inductee into the 2025 Hall of Fame. Say his name, Ricky Starks. How can he not say his name? The absolute one. The absolute one. But yeah, guys, thank you so much. I appreciate Obama. Oh, I know what you meant there. But just the Obama part cracked me up. I know what you meant there, though. Exactly, Eddie. Alexander will be MIA in AEW, and that's my fear. Thoughts on, that's what I was just talking about. Thoughts on Ricky Starks at NXT? Fucking stoked for it, man. I think he's going to be a big fish in a small pond type of vibe, and I'm fucking here for it. And again, that's no disrespect. That's literally the whole point of NXT, to gear you up and to fine tune you for the WWE style. And I think you have Ricky Starks come in there and fucking kill it for not even a year, maybe from now until leading into the Rumble of next year. Then you have, well, I guess at that point it'd be close to a year. Whatever. But have him go in there, dominate NXT, not dominate like crush everyone, but just really own his craft and just really introduce himself to the WWE audience fully. Not that we don't know who he is, but some people may not, you know, or have just mainly like peripherally heard of him. But go in there and really just let him shine. Just give him the mic. Just let him do what he does best. And just, I think it's a no-brainer that he's going to become the NXT champion. That's why I was saying him and Obafemi could be a really fun feud and a really fun story. But you don't need to rush it either. Like, let it play out and let it build to it. So I could even see him getting the NXT championship shot during WrestleMania weekend. So we'll see, man. But I'm just so happy he's in NXT, and I love that he was announced on, or he was released on Monday, and then he showed up in NXT on Tuesday. Fucking great. Just reminds you of the old days, right? Yeah, I feel you, bro. That's my blame. That's always my go-to. But yes, guys. CB, you say the last time NXT was in London, the guy that got caught taking photos of the women's feet in the hotel they were staying in just got fined $500 a few days ago. I heard. What the fuck? What's wrong with people, man? Like, what is wrong with people? Like, relax. Like, people are just so whatever, man. It's not even like do what you want, bro. Like, whatever you're into, fucking enjoy that shit. But like, really? Like, you're just taking pictures of like random, like not random, but like, there's just so much I can say that I'm just not going to get on that soapbox right now because I gotta go get new tires. But guys, it's been a blast. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining me here today. Yes, we went a little bit over as always, but I appreciate you guys. Dude, I have some stories for you, bro. If you, yes, like I have some stories. I've been in similar situations. Dude, stories for a different show, for sure. For sure. Remind me of that shit. But yes, thank you guys, as I was saying, for joining me here. You guys get my day going. I super appreciate it. Of course, it's going to be a stacked show or a stacked lineup tonight with, well, it actually could be a nice little transition, right? You could start with NXT Vengeance Day and then lead over into Grand Slam whenever that starts. But all funny business aside, right? And all snide karmics or whatever to the side. Thank you guys for joining me and chilling here with me in the mornings. I really appreciate it. It's fun to talk with you guys. Until next time, like I said, I'll hopefully do a show over on Kick Ash Podcast here on YouTube. So definitely subscribe over there if you haven't, all that stuff. You know, you guys know what to do. But more importantly, subscribe here if you haven't already and like the video here or dislike and let me know in the comments why. But until next week, guys, officially for One True Sport. But like I said, I'm popping up on my channel most likely. Until next time for One True Sport, I appreciate you guys. Enjoy the wrestling tonight. There's a lot of it, and stay safe, guys. Take care.